Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Drew.
I'm Sebastian.
And today we're going to talk about some of the services we offer, kind of why we offer them, what they do, and give a description on, the whole background of what we got going on here at Nero.
All right, the first service we're going to talk about today is our regular wash. So we were lucky enough to train under a guy who was sort of able to establish what the difference between a regular wash and a detail was. So the main difference between a detail and a regular wash is with a detail you're getting into paint correction, polishing, and waxing. But for the regular wash, we take it case by case. Every car is different. Every car requires a different level of cleaning. Once we get the cars in the shop, we kind of assess the paint, assess the interior, and say, okay, this is what we need to do on each part of this car. So the process for the regular wash is a full exterior bath, which includes the paint, windows, door jambs, and wheels. And for the interior, it's a full vacuum and a full plastic wipe down.
So when someone brings a car into us, say you bring in your 2017 M5 competition and you request to get a car wash, we'll actually take the car in, look at it, look at the engine bay, the paint and everything, and be like, okay, so say for example the car hasn't been cleaned in 3 years in the engine bay, then we'll recommend doing that service. So it's not like you just come in and we give you the same wash every time, because like Sebastian explained, every car is different and every car is assessed differently. I remember when we were training for the hand wash, like we went to detail, we pretty much did detailing training all summer, and we actually learned the difference between a hand wash and a detail, and the amount that actually just goes, it like when you bring a car in, what we were told by you have to actually understand what your mission is on that car. You have to see what you're gonna do. Like we bring in a car and we be like, okay, the wheels have brake dust on it, whatever it is. Like remember what was it, like a old Turbo S? It's like a mint color one.
Yes, minty.
And and it was like, I mean, that's the name of the car. Yeah. But we brought the car in and like it was getting ready for a show and we had to clean the car. I cleaned those wheels for probably like 4 hours. Oh, yeah. No exaggeration. I cleaned it for 4 hours because they had to be perfect, and that was just a wash. There's nothing. That's like what we were explained is that you have, when you're washing a car, like it comes in a certain state, and your job is to get it out of that state into the best, cleanest possible state that you can have it. And that's when he explained to us what the detailing was, and we learned actually how to do like a proper paint correction, what it consists of, and then like even with the pad care, like blowing it off every time. It was a lot.
It was repetitions at the end of the day, doing the exact same thing on every single car, and then eventually you know how to deal with every problem that comes up.
Yeah, like we even when we did the training for the washes, we'd start, like if we didn't start at the specific spot of the car, which is the top, and go down and then separate the bumpers in the lower half to avoid damage, like redo it. It's like boot camp. Mm-hmm. And it just gets engraved into our mind, and then that we translated over to our own business with our hand washes. So people come in and they're like, we have people come in all the time, like, oh, like I just need a car wash, and we wash a car and they're like, oh, I didn't need a detail, and then whatever, and we're like, but that's just our standard here. And then I mean, after washing cars, consistently over and over, whether we were at the designated spot we were training or it was mobile or here, with cars that are ceramic coated, it's an incredibly easy to wash a car. And we've been offering that for like what, over 2 years, almost 2 years now, probably, the ceramics.
Over 2 years.
So yeah, it's like with the ceramic coating, sometimes it sounds crazy, but the way I describe it to people is like, it's like trying to cook an egg in the morning on a pan with no Pam spray or using it, obviously, and then it's like when you use nothing, it sticks to the pan and all that grime and stuff. It's like really hard to get off. That's what the ceramic coating essentially does for your car. It's like over time, when your car gets dirty, the stuff just sticks to it. It just naturally happens because it pours in the paint, and it just, the clear coat wears away over time. It happens. And then with the coating, it's just like, it's like wiping it off like a non-stick pan essentially, and your car comes out perfectly clean every time.
So I remember when we were first starting, compounding and polishing cars, we didn't really have much idea what we were doing other than just watching a couple of YouTube videos. And I remember Cadillac came in, and we later found out that Cadillacs had some of the softest paint on any cars in production. So I just remember Drew and I sitting there for hours on end trying to figure out why these small micro scratches weren't coming out. And then, we started training with and later found out you were using the wrong pads the whole time.
Yeah.
So that, you know, kind of took us to the next level in
Wrong
terms
pads, wrong products.
Yeah.
Like, they did the job for certain cars, but like I remember we were here till probably like midnight on that car.
Oh, yeah.
Working on the same thing, like over and over, trying every combination you could possibly find, and it just wouldn't work. But then after luckily training with for an extensive amount of time, him showing us how to do like a proper paint correction and what it entails, it makes life so much easier. Like, we've gotten cars that come in that are in horrific condition, and you can make them look brand new now. Just by using the right products. You can look on anybody, any professional detailer, anybody out there that's been doing this, for 10 times as long as us. They'll tell you it's all about the product you use and your technique. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, to sort of touch base on the whole making cars look brand new thing, we've had cars come in fresh from the dealership that had scratches all along the entire car. I remember one time we had a Bentley that the dealership installed the PPF and a ceramic coating, and the entire thing was scratched up, and it was a black car.
Yeah.
So it was extremely noticeable.
The holograms on it, it looked like a small solar system on the hood.
Yeah.
But luckily we got it fixed, and using our paint correction skills and stuff like that. But it's just the dealerships, they'll ship in cars like all the time. They come into port, and I didn't even know this until this past summer, that the port actually has a quote-unquote detailing bay-ish area, because they get damaged in the crates when they come over, and they end up doing more damage sometimes in many cases. So we'll get like a brand new Range Rover in, and it will be like in ridiculous condition. Like the hood's all scratched up. Like it looks like the car's been on the street for like 2 years. But then we bring it in, you bring it in for a detail, you do the proper paint correction. They usually just need a polish because they're not deep scratches, and that usually solves all the problems. See, now we want to really touch base on the paint protection film, because between all types of protection for cars, whether it's ceramic, PPF, that's pretty much it. You can count wax in there, but and other than that, is the paint protection film, this stuff, it really is great stuff for what it is and what it's supposed to do. The biggest misconception, I think, is with the ceramic. People think it's supposed to do what paint protection film is supposed to do. That's not true at all. It's common sense. It's a chemical coating versus a physical film that goes on the car. So that's like throwing a rock at a screen window versus throwing a rock at like a bulletproof window. It's going to affect it in two different ways, and that's how you can, like, I would say, differentiate between paint protection film and the ceramic. So paint protection film is the latest service that we've decided to offer. We've been thinking about it and trying to get into the motion of it for quite some time now. But it's one of those services that is in high demand, and it's not only that, but it's really doing it the proper way. So with ceramic coating and basic detailing and washing, we picked it up pretty quick. We're very detail oriented in general. But the paint protection film requires actual talent and knowledge and experience with this stuff, because you're taking a flat object and wrapping it around essentially a round object without having any creases or any weird looking spots on the film. So this is pretty much what the film looks like if you haven't already seen it. It's just a clear, it's like saran wrap, but super thick, and it's you can bend it like pretty strong, and it's not gonna break. But it's good stuff, and it comes in different options. But with the film that we're offering, we have so many people come in, and it's got, they have the whole car done or the front end done, and based off of our training and who the people we've discussed with, getting the front end of your car done, if you wish to get this service, that's where your best bet is going to be. Wrapping the full car is always great. If you want to do it, go for it. But we're really, with what we have going on here, we're really going to press the front ends, because that's where all the damage is. The bugs, the rock chips and stuff like that. Like, not too often a rock is going to chip your door versus your front bumper or the hood. Right. So that's pretty much where we're going with that. And, we got the plotter in the back. The guys are working with the software in the back. We went to Texas. We did the training. The plaques are right up here if you can't see them. And, we're just really focused on doing everything the right way. Doing our best to wrap the edges where you can, to avoid just pulling it up It's just we don't want to do these certain things to just say that we're doing them. We're doing them with reason, so that we don't have to go back and fix these problems, and so that our customers and clients don't have to deal with these problems. They come in, they want the car protected. We protect it the right way. They're out the door. That's it. Maintain the car properly, and that's pretty much the name of the game. It's PPF. Small demonstration on pretty much how the film has the self-healing properties and how that works. This is the film. I already ripped it off. I already messed it up. You can mess it up, tear it, whatever you want, stretch it out like as much as you want. And when you apply heat, for the most part, like here, it'll pretty much go back to normal. I actually I found this to be the most fascinating thing about the film, because working on a bunch of cars when we were training over the summer, we had situations where they'd come in with scratches and stuff. Like you can see, it looks entirely different. It's still messed up because I folded it, but it is what it is. But we worked on cars over the summer, and they'd come in and they'd have scratches on the film, like how it would come in with, how paint work would come in on like a black car and have micro scratches. Wash the car, literally put it in the sun, and within like an hour or two, the car would be back to normal because of the self-healing properties. It just morphs the film back to normal. It's the craziest thing. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to give you guys the best information we can and have some fun while we're doing it. You can come find us at West Hampton Beach, or you can find us sometimes in Mount Kisco. We're really doing a lot of back and forth. You could also definitely find us at the gym between the hours of 5 and 7 p.m. And then other than that, it's pretty much it. Thank you guys.